My name is Collin but lots of people in Indonesia call me Bima. It's my Indonesian name. I am 21 years old. I am a student at Wheaton College, who for the last 6 months has been working here at Peace Generation. The work that they were doing just seemed really interesting, really cool, using creative media to spread peace to children and raising up a generation of people who are really passionate about peace. So my schedule varies a lot depending on if I'm going to other places or there's specific events that need attending or planning, but just a normal day, I wake up maybe at like 7 o'clock and everybody else has already been up and moving around for a few hours by then. I usually am woken up at about 4:30 when Azad is playing, but I usually am able to just go back to sleep. And then when I get up, I usually pray, read the scriptures a little bit, and then eat breakfast at the pesantren, either alone or with the santri, and then mandi, of course, which I am surprised after 6 months I am used to the cold water, even in Bandung where it's high elevation. I get ready and then I hop on angkot and ride over to the Peace Gen office and I hang out there. We have a morning meeting at 9 o'clock every morning where we just share a little bit about things that are happening in our lives, how we're doing, so that we can connect on a human level before we start moving into actually planning events and trying to create world peace. We can deal a little bit with what's going on in our day-to-day lives. And then that's a really valuable experience and a great way to start off the day. And when I'm back at the pesantren, I just usually hang out with my friends there, teman-teman di sana, the santri. There's always an event happening. There's gaji or sholawatan, which is like singing or reading the scriptures. So it's interesting just to sit in on that and ask questions and just do life together, do learning together, and spend time with each other. When I tell Christians that I live in a pesantren, if they're Americans, usually their first question is, what on earth is a pesantren? And then once I explain it, it's usually the reaction a lot of times is, oh, well, like, why are you there? Or aren't you ever scared? A lot of people when I first came here would tell me, aren't you scared to live, you know, surrounded by hundreds of Muslims and you're the only Christian there? Which was interesting because in 6 months here, I don't think fear is ever something that I felt in Indonesia. I felt a lot of confusion. A lot of not knowing what's happening, but I've never actually been afraid just because the people around me are so amazing and loving. And so there's usually people will just like gasp and ask why. There was one time that I was like, yeah, I live in a pesantren, and the person was like, oh, are you there on purpose? Do you like, do they know you're a Christian? Do you want to leave? And it was just very bizarre to me that the concept of someone who is not a part of that group even entering that place is kind of taboo. And I think to some extent it works both ways. I think a lot of Muslims in Indonesia have never gone to a church. A lot of them I don't think know what happens in church. I think a lot of Muslims in Indonesia I think are really surprised when they hear that the only time that I interact with God is not just on a Sunday morning for an hour, that I also pray like they do. And frequently when my friends at Pesantren Universal are sholating, or praying, I will be praying in my room, or praying on the roof, or reading the scriptures. And that a lot of the things that we do in church are pretty similar to things that they do in the masjid for Friday prayers or when they're sholating. There are definitely differences, but there are a lot of things that are similar too. A lot of things that in seeking to love God and seeking to love each other, we fall into some of the same patterns. And I think those patterns are areas that we can seek to work together along those lines to reach the common goals that we have. Yeah, I think I have been really blessed in my time here to meet a lot of really cool people from the day that I got here until the day that I have to leave. And they have made my experience here such an incredible one. The opportunity to build relationships with people that normally I would never have gotten the opportunity to meet, to interact with. And I consider many of my close friends here at the pesantren, at the office, and just from all of the random adventures that I've had in Indonesia as some of the most impactful people in my life so far. So I hold the experiences we've had together very close to my heart, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities to learn from them. Yeah, I think if I were to make a list of a lot of things that I've learned, there would be a lot. A list that would take years to write. I think maybe Indonesians really love selfies. It's a big lesson that I've learned. And I've learned to just kind of go with it and accept it, and it's just a part of life here. I've learned that Indonesians are really warm and welcoming people overall. Like, they're just so they love to joke, they love to smile, they love me even when I'm doing stupid things and not understanding what's happening, like walking into people's rooms with my shoes on, or so many things that I've done wrong. But people are very gracious to me, whether they're my good friends here or people that I just met. So I've had a lot of interesting experience traveling around and hearing about a lot of people's stories from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different cultures in Indonesia. So I've been really blessed to learn from people who are different from me, and to learn from people who are a lot more experienced than I am about peacemaking. And thank you so much, Peace Generation, for hosting me, for walking me through my time here, and for helping me understand what it means to be a peacemaker, what it means to be an agent of peace. Mohon maaf if there's anything that I know that I have merepotkan and inconvenienced you, but thank you for walking along with me. And thank you, Wheaton College and the Hunger Program, for sending me here, for working with me as well. Thank you so much.